She just listened to the wind brushing against old stone. The faint creak of wood ... The warmth of a flickering torch, casting golden shadows. Our story tonight begins in a place hidden beneath the heart of a stone castle nestled on the green cliffs of Brittany, where waves whisper to the rocks and ivy curls over gray walls like a sleepy lullaby. This castle is very old. She's like the dancing sea spray. The clink of armor and the hush of secrets. Beneath the castle, deep where the torches burn. Slow and quiet, a room of thread and silence, of warmth and rhythm, of stories told not in words, but in patterns, in cloth. In every slow sweep of a shuttle and the soft pull of wool. This room belongs to her. The weaver, not a servant. Just ... her. She was never quite meant to be there. Her hands were once trained to hold embroidery hoops, not heddle. To pour tea, not stir dye pots. To play the harp, not comb carded wool. But there was something in her bones. A quiet hunger to create. And in the quiet spaces of her day, she slipped away from the world above. To this place, no one followed. No one asked. Here, she could listen to the threads, feel their texture between her fingertips, watch the way the firelight kissed each strand, and how, with patience, they would begin to speak. ... Click ... Tap ... Clack ... The treadle beneath her foot rocks slowly. The loom answers with a gentle sigh. The shuttle slides from one hand to the other, a bird gliding through twilight air. With every motion, the threads come together. Wool dyed with herbs marigold yellow, woad blue, walnut brown. Colors drawn from the fields and forests above, now woven into meaning in the quiet earth below. She hums softly. A tune with no words, one she barely remembers learning. A melody that sounds like moth wings and the hush of snow. And as she weaves, something ancient stirs. For this is no ordinary tapestry. No, it is a secret. A story encoded in thread, passed from hands long ago, meant to be seen only by those who know how to see. The patterns she weaves, they look like flowers, birds, vines, but look closer. And the flowers are compass stars. The birds hold letters in their wings, and the vines spiral into symbols older than language. She was taught once, in a whisper behind closed doors, that some noble women centuries ago would hide their knowledge in cloth, because they were not always allowed to write, to speak, to teach, but they could weave. And so they did, and their looms became their libraries, their voices. And now she continues that silent thread, spinning stories into cloth beneath the earth, beneath the castle, beneath the noise of the world, her warm shawl wrapped around her shoulders, a single braid draped over one collarbone, eyes half closed. The firelight flickers, dancing softly on the curved wood of the loom, on the stone walls that hold the heat of many nights. Outside, the world sleeps. The stars wheel slowly above the turrets. The sea hums its slow lullaby against the cliffs. And here, below it all, a woman weaves a hidden world into being, one thread at a time, one soft breath after another. You can almost feel the gentle vibration of the loom, the subtle thump of the shuttle returning home, the faint perfume of lavender oil dabbed on her wrists. And with every pass of thread, your own mind quiets, settles, unwinds. She is not in a hurry. She never is. There is no need for rush, not here. Only the rhythm. Only the hush. She lays down the warp and weft of a new story. A story of a ship made from reeds and moonlight, of a fox who speaks in dreams, of a door beneath a tree that only opens when the stars align. Just let yourself drift. Let the loom carry you. Let the hush of wool and worn stone guide you deeper into rest, into quiet, into the soft unfolding of dreams. The fire is lower now, burning softly in its iron cradle, casting sleepy halos on the stone walls. She pauses, resting her fingers on the loom, as if listening for something, perhaps a memory or a dream passing through. Above her, the castle breathes. The walls hum with history, echoes of distant footsteps, the faint creak of wooden beams adjusting to the night, and the slow exhale of wind through an arrow slit far above. But none of it touches her. Not here. Here. Not here. And in this quiet, she reaches for a bundle of thread. This one dyed a dusky rose. The color came from crushed madder root, soaked for hours in rainwater and warmed with patience. In the Middle Ages, women gathered herbs in silence, believing the plants absorbed intentions through breath. They whispered to their dye pots, songs without words, just like she does now. She pulls the thread through her fingers, soft, warm, alive somehow. And with a steady foot on the treadle, she begins again. Dot, dot, clack, dot, dot, dot. The sound of the loom returns, gentle as heartbeat, steady as rain on old roofs. She weaves the next panel. A field of midnight blue, peppered with tiny white knots. Stars, each one placed with care in the exact position of the heavens. On the night, this tapestry will speak if you know how to read it. Not with voice, but with pattern. Not with ink, but with touch. It's said some noble women kept secret maps this way, embroidered into shawls or linings of cloaks. A way to pass knowledge through generations without ever writing a word. And so, she weaves a sky, a secret, a memory. Her breath moves with the rhythm, inhale with the shuttles. Flight, but not quite asleep either. That quiet in-between, where stories begin to glow. Outside, the wind brushes ivy against the outer wall. A rustle like pages turning, like leaves whispering names. Only the trees. A voice her grandmother's, telling her, "You do not weave what you see, child. You weave what you know." And what she knows is rhythm, and hush, and thread that sings under the right hands. In the corner of the room, a spindle spins lazily on its own, caught in a gentle current of warm air. Turning, turning. Even the shadows have soft. They don't stretch or cling here. They curl into corners like cats at rest, content to watch the weaver work. On the table beside her, a cup of warm elderflower tea waits, its steam curling and slow, and the warmth settles low in her belly, like a soft flame, like memory. The cloth is longer now, rolled carefully around the loom's beam, a scroll of dreams, still unfolding. The weaver's fingers glide without effort, as though the thread knows where to go, as though her hands are simply remembering something they've always known. Her breath is even. The torchlight dances in her eyes, but she does not blink often. Not because she is tense, but because she is somewhere else now, woven into the work. Part of the pattern. Outside, the castle courtyard is wrapped in night. The moon rests just above the tallest turret. If one were to wander the halls above, they'd hear nothing, only their own steps. Perhaps the hush of an owl gliding past a high window. They would never suspect that beneath their feet, in a hidden chamber veiled with old ivy and forgotten scrolls of stone, a woman weaves entire worlds. From thread, the door she stitched into the tapestry earlier, the one nestled beneath silver leaves, is glowing now. But there is something in the way. The wool catches firelight, a shimmer just there, if you tilt your head slightly. And now she begins to stitch it open. Not physically. She simply adds what lies beyond. Beyond the door, a staircase made of moss-covered stone, spiraling downward into a dream. She doesn't rush. Each stair is a single loop of wool, tightened with a curved needle and breath. Some medieval staircases turned always to the right, to give defenders with swords the advantage. But in certain towers, secret ones, they turned to the left, so the knowledge keepers could protect their scrolls with their non-dominant hand free. She weaves the staircase to the left. She is protecting something too. Each step glows with moon-colored thread. Not silver now, but pearl, dyed with ash and lavender, and a secret she's never spoken aloud. Down and down the staircase, winds in the tapestry, past quiet walls that breathe. At the base, she stitches a circle of stones. In the center, a pool, not water, exactly. Not fire either. It's something in between, a reflection pool. Did you know? In old castles, herbs were often grown in secret stone gardens, tended by quiet hands under moonlight. Not just for medicine, but for dye, for dreams, and for the calming of restless hearts. She returns to the loom. The cloth stretches longer now, rolling forward in a slow unfurling of time. A fox appears next in the weave. Its shape subtle, its eyes glinting in thread the color of sun-touched copper. The fox is an old symbol, a keeper of riddles, a traveler between waking and dream. She weaves it not just for beauty, but as a guide, to lead whoever sees this tapestry deeper, inward. She doesn't know who this tapestry is for, not yet, but she trusts it will find its way. The cloth always does. Behind her, the fire shifts, a log settles, the hush deepens. She adds a tree now tall, curved with wisdom. Its roots wind into spirals. Its leaves drip silver. In medieval tapestry, trees often meant more than life. They were paths, family choices, doors. She chooses silver thread for the leaves, dyed with a mix only she knows, one passed down through whispers. And beneath that tree, she begins the doorway. Just a shape, for now, a promise. You can almost see it, can't you? The way the tree arches gently overhead, the way the door seems to shimmer, not made of wood, but of light and breath and something very, very old. Low and round, it curls around the room like mist. She's nearly drifting herself, but the loom keeps her anchored. The rhythm keeps her safe. Outside, the sea murmurs. Soft waves brushing the cliffside like a mother stroking a child's hair. Inside, the threads continue their dance. Thread by thread, knot by knot. She is creating something that will outlive her. A lullaby in color. And you are drifting too now. Drifting with her, with the rhythm, with the hush. Let the loom carry you. Let the thread cradle your thoughts. Weaving peace around every worry, weaving softness into every breath. For tonight, you are part of the pattern too. You are the hush between footsteps, the glimmer in the thread, the calm beneath the castle. Sleepy now, that's all right. There's more to come, more to weave, more to dream, but only when you're ready. The cloth is longer now, rolled carefully around the loom's beam, a scroll of dreams, still unfolding. The weaver's fingers glide without effort, as though the thread knows where to go, as though her hands are simply remembering something they've always known. Her breath is even. The torchlight dances in her eyes, but she does not blink often. Not because she is tense, but because she is somewhere else now, woven into the work. Part of the pattern. Outside, the castle courtyard is wrapped in night. The moon rests just above the tallest turret. If one were to wander the halls above, they'd hear nothing, only their own steps. Perhaps the hush of an owl gliding past a high window. They would never suspect that beneath their feet, in a hidden chamber veiled with old ivy and forgotten scrolls of stone, a woman weaves entire worlds. From thread, the door she stitched into the tapestry earlier, the one nestled beneath silver leaves, is glowing now. But there is something in the way. The wool catches firelight, a shimmer just there, if you tilt your head slightly. And now she begins to stitch it open. Not physically. She simply adds what lies beyond. Beyond the door, a staircase made of moss-covered stone, spiraling downward into a dream. She doesn't rush. Each stair is a single loop of wool, tightened with a curved needle and breath. Some medieval staircases turned always to the right to give defenders with swords the advantage. But in certain towers, secret ones, they turned to the left, so the knowledge keepers could protect their scrolls with their non-dominant hand free. She weaves the staircase to the left. She is protecting something too. Each step glows with moon-colored thread. Not silver now, but pearl, dyed with ash and lavender, and a secret she's never spoken aloud. Down and down the staircase, winds in the tapestry, past quiet walls that breathe. At the base, she stitches a circle of stones. In the center, a pool, not water, exactly. Not fire either. It's something in between. A reflection pool. A memory pool. In the ancient weavings of monks, such pools were placed to mark places of prophecy. She makes hers calm, smooth, still, the kind of pool that listens when you speak to it. The kind that remembers, even if you don't. And in the tapestry, above the pool, she now begins a figure. She's never woven a person before. Not like this. The hands move slower now, careful and quiet. The thread darker, deep blues and dusk browns. The form is curled gently at the pool's edge. Someone resting. Someone sleeping. She pauses, looks up, listens to the fire, the silence. Then she continues. The figure is not named. Not yet. But it could be you. Yes, you, resting by the quiet water, held by moss and shadow, wrapped in wool and starlight. And above that sleeping form, she weaves a dream. A swirl of color and light threads that loop like clouds or fog, and inside the dream, she hides the fox again. Just its tail, just its paw, always leading forward. She smiles. Not a wide smile, just enough. There is magic in making, but more than that, there is comfort. The fire crackles again. A soft, sleepy sound. She presses her palm to her knee, stretching gently. The candle beside her burns lower, and the scent of beeswax joins the lingering lavender in the air. She sets the shuttle down, just for a moment, brushes a stray thread from her lap, takes a deep breath in, and exhales slowly. The night is deep now. The castle above is fully asleep, and so are you. Perhaps, or nearly. Let yourself imagine the tapestry. Let it wrap around your thoughts like a blanket, soft and full of quiet pictures. The fox, the tree, the door, the staircase winding down, the pool of memory, the figure sleeping at its edge. Each thread gently pulled into place, with care, with breath, with patience. And somewhere in the woven dream above, there is a path. She hasn't stitched it yet, but it's there, waiting. A path that leads through quiet woods, past mushrooms that glow in moonlight, past bells that ring when no one's near. A path that curves softly, always toward the next dream, always toward rest, always toward sleep. Let the rhythm hold you now. Let the hush grow heavier, softer, slower. With each breath, your body sinks deeper. With each word, your thoughts drift further into the cloth. You are warm. You are safe. And there is still so much more to weave. The fire has faded now to its deepest glow. Embers nestled like sleeping stars in a cradle of ash. The light from the loom is enough, not from candles, not from flame, but from the thread itself. As the tapestry grows, it carries its own hush light, like moon glow caught in fabric, like breath. The weaver's eyes are soft, half closed, but still focused. Her hands have slowed, not from tiredness, but reverence. The dream she's weaving, above the sleeping figure, curled by the memory pool, is becoming a forest. Not just any forest. Every tree a different kind. Oak for strength, willow for sorrow, ash for remembering. She threads their trunks with bark-colored wool, but laces their branches with something lighter, something glowing, faintly green. The air in this part of the story is cooler now. The hush deeper, the shadows kind. This is the kind of forest that grows only in dreams. The kind old monks once whispered about, forests not made of matter, but of meaning. In medieval bestiaries, it was said that certain woods appeared only to those seeking peace, not answers. She weaves this forest as a gift for the sleeper in the tapestry, and for you. Through the forest wind small paths, barely wide enough for 2 feet. The moss muffles every step, and the leaves don't rustle unless they want to. Every now and then, she adds a flicker, a firefly, a lantern, a glint of something unseen. But it also guides. Near the edge of the forest, she adds a curved stone, a resting place, like a bench, but ancient, covered in carvings that swirl and spiral and loop. One spiral leads inward. No one knows which is which. The weaver does not explain. She simply threads the patterns carefully, loop by loop, while the fire hums low beside her. And now the dream begins to change color, softer still. Mist rolling in, made of silk and silence. She pulls out a thread of barely there silver, one that disappears unless you watch it closely. With this, she begins the next layer. A river that flows not through the forest, but through time. Winding through the dream, around the bench, between the trees. The river is not fast. It does not rush. It moves like breath, like thought, like rest itself. In medieval maps of the Salius, rivers often marked boundaries between waking and sleeping, between knowing and forgetting. This river is just such a place. And the weaver knows, once she finishes its shape, the dreamer in the tapestry must make a choice. To stay by the pool or to step into the forest, to listen or to follow. But for now, the choice is not made. She lays the final silver thread of the river with quiet care. Her fingers move like lullabies, and the loom breathes. So does she, and so do you. You may not notice it, but your breath has slowed too. Your body has grown heavier, softer, warmer. The threads are winding around you now, not to bind, but to soothe, to carry you gently into rest. The tapestry is not done. But it doesn't need to be. Even now, it holds enough peace to cradle your mind like a lullaby. Imagine the threads beneath your skin. Not literal threads, but gentle warmths of calm. A thread at the base of your spine, soothing. A thread behind your heart, steady. A thread above your brow, still and quiet, like falling snow. She weaves with her hands, but also with her breath, her memory, her care. Each thread laid down is a gift she will never see received. And yet, she weaves. She always will. Because someone, someday, will find the tapestry, will wrap it around their shoulders, or hang it at the foot of their bed, or run their fingertips over the tiny figure curled beside the pool. And they'll feel something, some hush deep inside, and they'll know they are not alone. That someone long ago wove peace into the world for them. You're drifting now, aren't you? Let the trees of that dream forest shelter your thoughts. Let the hush of the thread wrap around your breathing. Let the soft river guide you deeper inward. There is still more to see, more to dream, but not all at once. You have time, and she, the weaver, she will keep weaving through the night, slowly, gently, as you rest, as you float, as you fade like candlelight into a sleep stitched with warmth. The tapestry is heavy in her lap now, not burdensome, but full, full of color, full of hush, full of dreams. Stitched in silence, it pools gently across her knees, like a river of wool and memory, spilling onto the stone floor beside her bare feet. She wiggles her toes, feeling the worn warmth of the old rugs layered beneath her. There are 5 of them, each handwoven by someone she once knew. Some with deer stitched into the corners, others with vines that never repeat the same pattern twice. The room smells of these stories, lanolin and linden bark, a faint trace of chamomile tea from the cup cooling beside her elbow, but mostly the scent of wool and thyme. And even though no one else is here, she is never lonely, because she knows she is part of something. Just as the thread becomes part of the cloth, she, too, is part of a longer weave, a tapestry without end, and tonight it's time to finish the forest. She returns to the dreamscape above the resting figure, where the trees arch high and protective, where the river glimmers with thoughts unspoken. Tonight, she adds the birds, soft wings, silent flight. Each bird, only a few stitches, but just enough to bring movement to the stillness. Long-legged, quiet, watching. In medieval bestiaries, herons were symbols of contemplation, creatures that waited until the moment was right. She places it on the riverbank, its neck curved, its eyes closed. Then she threads a small finch into the highest branches, fluffing its chest as if singing a song no one can hear. The song is not for the ears, it's for the heart, and you feel it now, don't you? That silent song threaded into your chest like a lullaby woven with light. A song that says, you are safe, you are warm, you are allowed to rest. Deeper into the dream, beneath the forest's soft boughs, she adds one more creature, not large, not grand, just a gentle figure at the edge of the path, head turned slightly, as if listening for footsteps in the moss. Deer in medieval folklore were messengers, creatures of intuition and stillness. They walked between worlds. They appeared when something important was near. The deer she weaves carries no fear, only softness. The tapestry lies long and finished now, folded gently over the beam of the loom. Its weight is not heavy, but full of threads and thought and timeless. The weaver's hands rest on her lap, palms open, as though offering something invisible and kind. She is not weaving now. She is remembering. The fire crackles low, barely more than a breath of light against the stone. Its warmth has become gentle, like a memory from childhood, like hands smoothing your hair as you drift. And she sits in the glow, quiet and still, letting the stillness speak. Outside the walls, the sea has gone quiet, not because it has vanished, but because it is listening. Even the tide knows how to rest. She closes her eyes, and in the hush, the tapestry breathes. Yes, it breathes. Not like a person, not like a bird, but like a thought that lingers. Like a story that waits to be remembered. Like the way dreams curl around your edges as you sleep. She reaches out and touches the cloth. Not in words, but in sensations. The moment her fingers brush the edge, she feels the river's hush, the moss beneath the dreamer's feet. She feels the deer watching, the forest listening, the dreamscape whole and woven, waiting beneath layers of silence. It tells her softly that it is time, not for endings, but for release. Time to let the story go. To send it outward. To let it find the ones who need it. Like you. So, she rises. Slowly, she lifts the tapestry from the loom. Not all at once, but gently. Fold by fold. And as she lifts it, a soft wind seems to stir inside the room. Not cold, not wild. Present, a current made of thread and sleep and time. She carries the tapestry to the far wall, where an old wooden chest sits beneath an arched alcove. The chest is carved with moons. Not full moons, but crescents and slivers and eclipses. As if the chest itself has phases, just like the sky. She opens it, and for a moment the air smells like juniper and parchment. It watches the sleeper curled by the pool, and it waits. Because soon, in the story, and in the dream, something will stir. But not yet. Now is stillness. Now is warmth. Now is the soft breath of wool beneath her hands. The quiet hush of the shuttle sliding across the loom. The glow of embers curling low. And now, a soft sound. A whisper at the edge of her senses. Not from above, not from outside, but from the tapestry. She leans in slightly, tilts her head, closes her eyes. It's not words, not exactly, but something inside the weave is ready to shift, to open. She touches the edge of the dreamscape just there, where the path disappears behind a hill. And there, she begins to stitch a doorway. Another one, not like the tree door from earlier. This one is smaller. Set into the side of a moss-covered stone. It hums, softly. a note of invitation. She threads it with twilight purple wool, a color made from elderberries and a dash of crushed seashell. The doorway flickers. She does not open it. Not yet. She only adds a silver key on a string of thread beside it, as if the dreamer must choose whether to enter. But even if you never do, it will remain there, waiting, just as this story will wait. Like a path in the woods that only appears when you are quiet enough to see it. The fire sighs. She sets her shuttle down again, stretches her fingers, rolls her shoulders. The tapestry is nearly complete, not finished. No tapestry ever truly is, but whole enough to rest. And so she does. She lowers her hands to her lap, watching the way the cloth catches the low light, how the sleeping figure glows softly in the threads, how the dream above them pulses with life, and she smiles. Not because the work is done, but because the hush is deep now. The hush has settled into every stone of the room, into every fiber of the tapestry, into every breath she takes. Feel how still your arms are now. How warm your back feels against the mattress. How your breath rises like mist and falls like wool in a basket. You've drifted far, haven't you? Good. That's what the loom was made for. That's what this room was always meant to do. To hold you. To hush you. To carry you softly into sleep. Inside other tapestries. Some as pale as dawn. Some as dark as raven feathers. Each folded carefully. Each once woven in hush and firelight, just like this one. She places hers among them. A new layer, a new story. Then she closes the chest, gently, lovingly, and presses her hand to the lid. Find your dreamers, she whispers. That's all. Just those 3 words. You know that she means you.
Yes.
Here, now, wrapped in stillness, half asleep, floating on your breath, wrapped in a story made of quiet and color. You are the dreamer she wove for. You are the one the tapestry found. And now it wraps around you, not with weight, but with presence. Can you feel it? A warmth over your shoulders, a softness across your chest, a hush inside your heart. That's it. Yes. Let it hold you now. Let the story become part of your sleep. The weaver returns to her stool, sits down once more, not to begin a new piece. Not yet, but to rest, to breathe, to let the threads of night move around her, like fog rolling through pine trees, like dreams slipping beneath eyelids. Below, the loom is quiet. And somewhere in the world, someone else, someone you'll never meet, feels that same hush from a tapestry they cannot see but somehow feel, because the threads they remember. They pass from hand to heart, from hush to breath, from one sleeper to another, a thread of peace that cannot break. So let it hold you now. Let your fingers loosen. Let your jaw soften. Let your thoughts fall gently, like feathers from a heron's wing. There is nothing more to do tonight. The story is complete, and it is yours. Yours to carry. Yours to drift in. Yours to dream beneath. You are safe. You are still. And you are wrapped in something ancient and soft and utterly kind. Sleep now. Let go. The loom beneath the castle is quiet, but it is never silent. It whispers still in the language of thread and heart, and waits for the next dream to be born. The chest is closed. The loom is still. The weaver's hands now rest loosely in her lap, her shoulders softened with the gentle ache. The hush in the room feels different now, not emptier, just deeper, as though the air itself is sighing, content, complete, held, and still. Something stirs in the silence, not a noise, not a motion. The tapestry may be folded away, but its dream continues. For dreams do not end when we close our eyes. They ripple. They drift on threads thinner than silk until they find another heart ready to rest. Perhaps your heart? Yes, yours. You've felt the tapestry now, in the way your breath slows as the story winds down, in the warmth gathering at your chest, like the last light of the fire, curling into your thoughts. And tonight, it will carry you. Back into the dream the weaver gently spun beneath the castle stone. Can you feel the cloth now, soft and weightless, across your shoulders? It doesn't cover, it simply surrounds. A hush wrapped around your thoughts like the edge of sleep, and as you drift, you see it. The dreamscape once woven by her hands. There's the fox, curled at the roots of the silver tree. Its eyes open just slightly, watching you. Not to test, not to chase, only to guide. The forest waits around you, full of shadows that welcome rather than frighten, and a silence that doesn't press. Above, birds move between boughs. One, a pale owl, none at all. You begin to walk. Your feet don't touch the ground the way they do in waking life. You float more than step, as if your soul knows the way, and your body simply follows. Slow blink. It does not run. It turns, just slightly, and walks ahead. Through the forest. Over a tiny stone bridge that hums with old energy. Past a fern that opens its fronds as you pass. There is a feeling in this place, the feeling of being remembered. As if the forest knows you. As if the dream has been waiting just for you to arrive. And soon you reach the doorway. The second one. The small arched opening in the mossy stone, stitched by the weaver, with threads of twilight. The key hangs there, just as she left it, glimmering slightly on its thread. But you do not need to take it. The door recognizes you. It opens not with a sound, but with a breath, the dream itself exhaling as you step through. Inside, a new hush, deeper, wider, so still it hums in your bones, or perhaps the walls are made of starlight. Threads stretch in all directions, glowing softly, not tangled, never tangled, but woven in great slow circles. You are not alone. There are others here, shapes of dreamers, like yourself, drifting, wrapped in threadlight. They do not speak. They don't need to. But somehow, each one has carried a tapestry too. Each one has felt the weaver's hush settle over them like a warm evening breeze. You smile, your body sighs, and you let go just a little more. Perhaps your jaw slackens now. Your eyelids heavier, your arms no longer asking anything of the world. You are in the tapestry now, not even walking, just floating, held, above in the dream sky. The stars form slow, turning patterns, the kind of constellations not seen in waking life. One shaped like a loom, another like a fox's tail, another like two hands cradling a flame. You drift beneath them. Time slows. Breath deepens. Sleep draws near, and far above, or maybe far within, the weaver smiles once more. She can feel it, that her work has reached you, that her story, the one whispered through wool and torchlight and patience, has found its way home. She does not need to see you. She does not need to speak. She simply sits, one hand resting on the edge of the loom, the other gently pressed to her heart. You are safe. You are seen. And you are so deeply held. Let the hush become heavier now. Let the rhythm of your body slow to match the ancient threads. Let go. You have crossed the threshold. You have stepped into the dream. And here, you can rest as long as you need. You are resting in the place between waking and sleeping, between thought and dream. Here, everything is slow. Everything is soft. Everything is safe. The tapestry continues to carry you, not like a road carries footsteps, but like the sea cradles a drifting leaf, gently, without asking it to steer. In the dream, you are weightless. They're not ropes. They don't bind. They simply shimmer in long, curved arcs, connecting one dream to another. Each thread pulses faintly with warmth, like the quiet heartbeat of the world, and among them, you notice something new, a glow. Just ahead, the deer returns, stepping out of mist like it's always been near. You know to follow. You move through the dream not with effort, but with intent, as if your thoughts themselves become the path beneath you. Soon, the trees part, the mist settles, and there it is, a clearing of perfect stillness, no wind, no sound. Only a gentle circular patch of earth covered in soft moss, ringed with standing stones carved with old symbols that seem to hum with knowing. In the center, a mirror, not made of glass, but of still water, pooled in a low bowl of carved stone. You step closer, and when you look in, you do not see your face, not right away. You see the loom, still, waiting. You see the weaver, her hands folded gently now, her head bowed, not in sleep, but in reverence. And then you see your own thread. Yes, your thread. Not just one thread, but many. Some are soft rose, others are moss green, or dusk blue, or candlelight gold. They thread through moments, memories, sighs you forgot you ever exhaled, and they are beautiful. There is no tangle, no break, only softness, only flow, only you, exactly as you are, woven into something far older and gentler, not toward you, but toward the tapestry. She touches your thread with one finger and whispers something. You can't hear it. But you feel it. A warmth in your chest, a quiet at the base of your spine, a loosening in your breath. Whatever she said, it was a blessing, a farewell, or perhaps a welcome. You look down again, the pool ripples, then settles, and the image fades. Now it's only water again, still, deep, dark as midnight wool. The deer steps to your side, and together you sit, not to move, not to ask, only to be. This is the part of the dream where nothing needs to happen, where nothing is expected of you, not even sleep, just presence, just rest and out. The forest seems to breathe with you. So does the earth. So does the sky above the trees. You are surrounded by stillness. Not the kind that feels empty, full of unseen hands, soft eyes, stories not yet spoken but already understood. And somewhere, far above, or far below, the loom still waits. It'll be used again, not tonight. Tonight, the thread rests. The cloth rests. You rest. Let your muscles soften, one by one. Your hands no longer need to hold anything. Let them fall gently. Let them open. Your jaw, let it release. Your brow, let it smooth. Let the warmth of the tapestry, the imagined one, the remembered one, the one that came looking for you, wrap around your mind now. And let the hush deepen Let your thoughts turn to wool, your breath to moss, your dreams to thread. You are part of the loom, part of the hush, part of the peace that waits beneath every stone wall and every flickering flame. Sleep will come, not like a door shutting, but like dusk, gathering at the edges, softly, naturally, because you are ready, and because you are already there. You are still beside the mirror pool, the one that showed you not your face, but your thread. The deer has curled beside you, its breathing slow and even. Its presence is like silence made into fur, a hush you can rest your hand on. Overhead, the dream sky has begun to shift. No stars now, just soft velvet twilight, brushed with plum and pearl. A breeze begins to stir, but it does not bring cold. It brings something else, a scent, familiar, though you can't quite name it. Wool warmed by fire, honey steeped in chamomile. A field once walked barefoot under a harvest moon. It's the scent of quiet things, of stories that sleep inside you until someone gently says, "It's time." And so, the deer stands. It looks to you. Its gaze isn't urgent. It doesn't tell you what to do. It simply asks, softly, whether you're ready to go deeper, not forward, not back, but inward. And perhaps you are. You rise. You're not heavy, not tired, only still, like a seed just before it grows. And the deer leads again, back through the forest, back down the path. But this time, you notice something new. A second path, just barely visible, winding off to the left. The deer pauses, looks at you. You don't need to speak. You step onto the path, and the dream shifts with you. This new place is different, not darker, not lighter, just deeper. Here, the trees lean in, not to crowd you but to listen. Their branches hang low, full of small silver bells that do not ring with sound, but with memory. Each one carries a moment, not grand ones, not loud ones, just soft pieces of time. A hand squeezing yours once, long ago. A laugh in candlelight, rain on a roof when you were safe and sleepy. You walk beneath the bells, and you remember, not in words, but in warmth. They chime, not in your ears, but somewhere in your chest. And the path continues, wider now. It opens into a circle of trees that part to reveal the loom, not the weaver's loom. This one is yours. It stands alone, made of light and shadow, threaded with all the colors you've ever felt but never had a name for. It's not large. It doesn't need to be, because it isn't a loom for cloth. It's a loom for stillness, a loom for sleep. And you don't need to use it. You already have. You've been weaving with your breath with your stillness, with your dreams. This moment, this hush, this slow, peaceful awareness of everything and nothing. You made this. You are the weaver now. You always were. The loom hums, not with movement, but with presence. You step toward it. You place your hand on its frame. It's warm, alive, and then, as softly as mist, just inward, into you, the loom becomes part of your breath, part of your bones, part of the hush inside your thoughts. It does not disappear. It becomes your rhythm. And just like that, you are whole. You return to the path, but this time, you walk as someone different, not as a visitor to the dream, but as a keeper of it. The forest parts to let you pass. The bells chime one last time. And the deer bows its head once, not to say goodbye, but to thank you. You pass beneath the ivy arch once more, and in the sky above, the first stars begin to return. You don't need to walk anymore. You lie down, right there, on a bed of moss and dusk. The air is warmer now, softer. The tapestry you once imagined is draped across you. It smells of lavender and beeswax and wool. You close your eyes, and the loom, the one inside you now, hums a rhythm that guides your breath ever slower, ever deeper, ever quieter. You don't need to try. Sleep is already here, not arriving, but waiting, patient and kind. You are allowed to let go now, fully, completely, without resistance, because you are home, because the work is never really done. The stories never end. They just pass from dreamer to dreamer, from hush to hush, from night to night. Even now, somewhere far away, another dream is being woven. Another path is taking shape. Another quiet figure is sitting at another loom, stitching soft stories into silence. Perhaps one day, you'll meet them, or perhaps you'll become them. Because once a thread is woven, it remembers. It knows how to soothe. It knows how to guide. It knows how to wrap itself gently around another soul and say, "You are not alone." So sleep now, deep and long and still. Let the dream carry you past memory, past waking, past words. You do not have to return yet. Not until your breath is ready. Not until your body stirs. Not until the hush has given you all it wishes to give. The moss beneath you is warm. The stars above you are turning slowly. And your place in the story is exactly where it should be. You are whole. You are safe. You are woven. You are lying on the moss, your head gently cradled in the curve of a root. But from respect, even the breeze no longer stirs the leaves above you, because you You have become part of the dream. Not just a visitor now, not even just a weaver, but the dream itself. The breath that moves the trees, the thread that guides the path, the hush that wraps each moment in peace. And as your eyes begin to close, not from effort, but from ease, the stars begin to hum. More a sensation, a soft vibration in your bones, like being held by light. The constellation shaped like a loom glows the brightest, and it speaks, not in words, but in warmth. It tells you, you have come far enough. It tells you, you may rest now. And with each breath, you slip further into the soft folds of sleep. Your thoughts drift apart like petals on still water. Not lost, just unneeded for now. There's no more weaving to do tonight. No more footsteps to take. No more paths to choose. Only stillness. Only comfort. Only the knowing that you are exactly where you should be, and above you, the stars continue their slow dance. The loom in the sky, the deer-shaped arc of lights, the fox's tail, stitched from silver, all turning gently, all watching over you. Far below, beneath the castle stones, the real loom sits in its chamber. She lies on a cot woven of reeds and wool, a single blanket drawn up to her chest. Her fingers still twitch slightly in her sleep, as if weaving even now. Through the landscapes of her own dreams, she does not know your name, she does not know your face. But she felt you tonight. She felt the moment your thread joined the cloth, the moment your breath slowed to match the rhythm of the loom, and she smiles in her sleep. You are drifting now, not across land or water, but through stillness itself, wrapped in a hush so complete. You are not wearing the tapestry anymore. You are the tapestry. A breath caught in soft cloth. A heartbeat stitched into sleep. The stars above do not twinkle now. They glow slow, steady, like lanterns left by someone who wanted you to find your way, but didn't want to rush you. And beneath your body, the moss has changed too. It is no longer moss, it is memory. Soft and green and forgiving, like all the forgotten kindnesses ever shown to you woven into one single bed of comfort. There is nothing here that asks anything of you, no sound that stirs your thoughts, no motion that asks you to follow. No questions, no names, only stillness, only warmth, only the awareness faint and fading, that everything you once carried has been set down. The try-in, it has all been unraveled now, unspooled, loosened from your edges, and laid softly at your feet. The space inside you that was once filled with lists and echoes and shoulds, it is empty now, but not hollow. Full of hush, like a quiet room in a place you love, lit only by candlelight, and warmed by the breath of sleep itself. And now, the dream begins to dim, not disappear. Just soften, melt into the edges of rest. You begin to forget what the loom looked like. Not because you're losing it, but because it has merged with you. The deer, still near, but fading into mist. The path, still present, but no longer needed. You no longer walk. You no longer wonder. You simply are. And that is enough. Far above, in the castle's highest tower, a bell chimes. Not for you. One soft note, deep and round, that signals a page is turned. The world moves on, but you do not need to. You are held here, exactly where you are. A moment suspended between one breath and the next. Between one dream and the one that follows. And into that moment, a whisper arrives, not from a voice, not from a mouth, but from the loom itself, resting somewhere inside you now. A whisper made of memory and warmth. You are enough. You have always been enough. You do not need to try, only rest. And that is what you do. The forest fades into shadow. The stars draw their velvet curtains, and your body sighs into sleep. Even your breath grows silent now, so slow it no longer stirs the air. Only the dream, and the dream wraps itself around you, thread by thread, thought by thought, until everything becomes peace. Everything becomes sleep. Our story settles now, not forward, but inward. Not farther, but closer, into a place within you where silence hums like a cradle song. And the weight of the day no longer follows. Here, the weaver's breath has become your breath. Steady, gentle, measuring, not time. The torchlight beneath the castle has faded, but its memory lingers in the glow behind your eyes. In the rhythm of your heart beating like a soft shuttle against the loom, you may begin to sense threads around you still, not tight, not binding, but gentle, like old lullabies or the arms of someone who waited for you without asking why you left. These are not threads of cloth, but threads of kindness. Each one tied softly to something you once loved and forgot. A moment, a voice. The smell of pages in a favorite book. The way afternoon sun used to fall across the floor. They float through you now, asking nothing, offering everything. One thread wraps itself around your shoulder, light as a shawl. Another brushes your cheek, cool as the wind before the rain. A third curls around your hand, just to hold it, just to say, you are not alone.
And you're not.
Because though the world above has gone to sleep, the loom beneath the castle weaves on, but with presence. Because sometimes the act of weaving is the message. Sometimes the story is not what is told, but what is felt. And you are part of that story now. Not as a character, not as a watcher, but as the hush between two woven threads. The quiet, the calm. This is where you live tonight. No name, no place, no past, no next. Just this still, soft moment, stretching outward like a ripple on a moonlit pond. And just when the world feels like it might fade entirely, just when the last bit of effort slips from your fingers, something new begins to glow. It is not light, not sound, but warmth. A slow, golden warmth rising from within you, as if your chest holds a hearth fire and someone has gently placed a woolen blanket around it. And that fire, it doesn't burn, it doesn't flicker, it glows, deep and amber, like memory, like the last light of the sun resting on a stone wall in autumn. You feel it move through you out to your arms, your legs, your fingertips, until every part of you is alight with rest. This is not the beginning of sleep. This is sleep. You are not walking into it anymore. You are already there. And if a breeze stirs your dreams tonight, if a bird calls softly in the woods beyond, if a memory drifts through your mind, you'll simply nod and let it pass, like a leaf floating downstream. No need to hold, no need to question, only to rest, only to stay. The loom no longer moves. But it doesn't need to. The story is written, and it's written in you. You are the thread. You are the pattern. You are the piece. And you are home. Our story settles again. Not to tell, but to hum. To linger gently in the half-shadow between dreaming and being. The loom beneath the castle. It's quiet now, its work finished, but its warmth remains, glowing soft in the stones, in the old wood. No voice ever told aloud, and the weaver. She sleeps too, but not alone, because dreams visit those who live gently, and hers are rich and soft and filled with listening. In her dreams, the castle above is not stone. It is cloud. And the threads in her hands become rivers, long and clear, drifting across an endless meadow of sky. She doesn't steer them. She doesn't bind them. She only feels the cold of one thread, silver as a frost-kissed window, the warmth of another, soft as bread, fresh from the oven. A third glows blue, like the hush of a chapel at dawn before the bell rings once, and around her, in her dream, figures gather. Not loud, not many, just enough. A boy with candle wax on his fingers, a girl with feathers tucked in her braid, an old knight whose armor is made of folded parchment, a cat with ink on its paws. They come not to watch her but to remember, because they too were threads once, woven into the old tapestries of the world and forgotten by history. But not by the loom, and certainly not by her. Her hands move again, even in sleep, not weaving now, but remembering the feel of thread, the memory of rhythm, the softness of silence wrapped around you like a woolen cloak after a long journey home. And maybe you feel that too, because you are close enough now. Close enough to hear the hush of each imagined breath, the almost sound of the dream tapestry, unfolding like wings behind your mind. You are not watching this dream. You are in it. You are part of the pattern. Maybe you are a thread of dusk that wound itself around a forest branch and stayed there through winter. Maybe you are the shimmer on a candle's flame, just before it flickers out. Maybe you are the gap between two notes in a lullaby, the quiet that holds the song together. You don't need to know. You only need to be. And in being, you fall deeper, not down, not away, but within, past names, past worries, past the edge of anything that asks effort. You land softly in a place of wool and stone and dusk, a place where stories never shout. They only breathe, and your breathing matches theirs, slow, steady, barely there. Let it carry you. Let it cradle you like a shuttle rests in the loom's arms. When its weaving is done, you are done tonight. You've woven all you need. You've been seen. And the world will wait for you until morning. There is a sound, so quiet, you might miss it, like the rustle of a feather across old parchment. It's the loom, not working, but remembering. And in that memory, a warmth stirs. Not heat, but something deeper. The kind of warmth that comes from feeling known. But the room has changed. No longer just stone and silence. Now it hums. Faintly, softly. Like a lullaby echoing through layers of time. The last piece of tapestry still hangs in the far corner. Its edges are faded. Its colors gentle now, like pressed flowers in an old book. But if you look closely, if you let your eyes rest and drift, you'll notice something hidden in the design, winding through trees, forming shapes that resemble stars. Then, a door, barely noticeable unless the candlelight strikes it just so. That door was not woven by accident. No one in the castle ever noticed it, but the weaver knew, and those who came to her, seeking rest for the mind or answers for the heart. They found peace just by sitting near it, because the tapestry was more than thread and wool. It was intention. And every intention carries its own kind of magic. That's something many people in her time believed. That objects made with quiet and speak not with words, but with presence. You can feel it now, can't you? The way the air here feels kinder, more forgiving. The way it allows your thoughts to slow, as if you're not doing anything wrong just by resting, just by being. In that spirit, let your shoulders soften. Let your breath lengthen. Let your hands unfurl, as if letting go of something they never needed to carry. Because in the hush beneath the castle, nothing is required of you. The weaver's spirit, it still lingers. but not to judge, not to watch, not even to guide, just to be near you, to hold the quiet so you don't have to. She knows what it means to carry a quiet heart in a loud world. That's why she wove this place. Not just the fabric, but the space around it. A space for forgetting, for letting go, and holding on. And here you are now, wrapped in that space, cradled by every stitch and every silence between the threads. The air beneath the castle is still. So still, in fact, that even the dust does not stir. It only settles, gently, like thoughts long forgotten, nestling into stone and splintered wood and folds of wool woven centuries ago. There's a feeling here, not of presence, but of remembering, as if the loom itself remembers the touch of the weaver's fingers, remembers the way she leaned close. When listening for the thread's next whisper, remembers the candlelight, the sigh of cloth sliding through her lap, the way the flame made shadows move like dancers on the wall. Now, the flame has gone. It's in the grain of the floorboards, in the rounded dip where the treadle was pressed for decades, in the small patch of soot above the alcove, where the hearth once softly crackled as snow fell beyond the castle walls. Let your breath slow with the memory of that snow, falling soundlessly, layer upon layer, like a lullaby being hummed without words. The weaver's spirit, it doesn't speak in this moment, but it is near. And she does not need to speak. Because now you know. Some tapestries were made not for kings, not for cathedrals, but for quiet remembering. A thread sewn to honor a lost friend. A border added to reflect the sunrise of one perfect morning. A hidden motif tucked behind a curtain to mark the birth of a child long gone. This was her secret art. Not public, but true. And now, in the hush between thoughts, you begin to feel that, not just in your ears, but in your bones. As if you too carry patterns, stitched deep into the fabric of your days. Maybe you don't remember weaving them. The glances, the kindnesses, the small things you gave without keeping score. But they're there. And if the loom beneath the castle could speak, it would say, what you've forgotten to believe. You, too, are a weaver of moments, of meaning, of memory. And here in this twilight hush, those threads shimmer softly around you. Not demanding, not pushing, just being. You can rest now. Not because you are finished, but because you are enough. Even the stars in the dream sky above the castle twinkle less brightly now, as if dimming themselves so your mind might sink more easily into sleep. Let that feeling spread from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head, as if some gentle wind were brushing you in long, slow strokes, quieting everything inside. And in the loom's chamber, a hush settles even deeper. A final breath. A promise kept, because all that needed to be woven has been woven. And you, dear dreamer, are part of that tapestry now, forever. It will wait, quietly, like moss on stone, like thread in dusk, ready to welcome you whenever you wish to return. So now, soften your breath just a little more. Feel your limbs float, as if the earth itself is cradling you. Let your thoughts scatter, like petals released into a calm stream. There is no need to finish this moment, no need to understand, no need to stay awake. Only the loom watches now, quiet and proud, knowing its work is complete. And you, dear dreamer, are safe, held, and ready to sleep. Sleep well, and sleep deep, beneath the castle of quiet things. Good night. This stillness is yours. This calm belongs to you. And you don't need to earn it. In the weaver's time, they set a thread, carried the soul of the one who spun it. They whispered that silk soon, if you held it just right. So hush now, and imagine the threads around you singing, softly, a song without language, a lullaby made not from music, but from meaning. And as that meaning hums around you, you can let go, even more, even deeper, because the castle holds you now. The loom has remembered your name, and the night is long and safe and waiting. The candle burns low now, its flame no longer dancing, but swaying slowly, as if nodding off just like you. The room beneath the castle has grown dim and golden. Dust twirls in the air, like tiny stars forgotten by the sky, and drifting down to rest. And in this twilight of story, you find yourself lying on a bed not made of stone, but of soft hay and worn linen. Someone has placed a coverlet over you, wool, hand-spun, faintly scented with lavender, as if the weaver herself had tucked you in before vanishing into memory. The loom rests silent now, its final thread woven, but the echo of its work lingers, not as sound, but as feeling, a peace so deep, you don't even have to notice it for it to hold you. Above, the castle sleeps. Its guards lean against cool walls. Its kitchens are quiet, with just the faint scent of cooling bread floating through the air like a dream. Even the wind tiptoes tonight, brushing softly through arrow slits and over the stones. And somewhere far above, in a tower with ivy curling up its sides, a moth flickers near a window. It pauses, as if listening to the hush below, to the hush where you rest. Because the hush is full of meaning now. Of everything you've seen, everything you've felt. The weaver's hands are long gone, but their work remains. A tapestry of your presence.
Yeah.
Because you've become part of the weaving, too. Your breath has folded into its rhythm. Your stillness has settled into its pattern. And now, even if you forget this place tomorrow, it will never forget you.